This is Sophia's game. She's done a lot with graphics. I actually had removed a little bit. She originally had it so that every time you hit the bubble, they would change images. She also has an animated GIF. Is that a GIF? For the hero. But otherwise, it's simply the game with splitting bubbles done. So what we see is if I shoot, I like how the laser's done, the bubbles will split and they're going to split infinitely. So the things that we have to do to make this game work, probably I would say 3 things. 1, bubbles have to eventually pop. 2, when there's no bubbles left, we go to another level. And then 3, we probably should talk about how to make levels more interesting, right? Because otherwise, what are we going to do on the next level? Just add 2 bubbles? Maybe there's features we can add, different backgrounds, different bonus items, or probably what would be really cool is walls. Bubbles has that, so walls in level 2. Okay, but for now we're going to cover popping the bubbles when they're too small and switching levels. Okay, so first off, we know we're going to have to say when there's no bubbles on the screen, switch level. Does anyone know how to track if there's no bubbles on the screen? I haven't taught you that yet, so we could look it up on the reference list right here. So you could look it up on p5.js, but I'll just show you it. It's bubbles.length. And so before we go too deep into our code, we know that we need something that we don't know how to access. So before I actually code it, I'm just going to see if I can put it on the screen. So if I go to the very bottom of draw, I'm going to put bubbles.length on the screen. Okay? So all I'm going to say is text bubbles.length. And then I'll see here that it tells me how many bubbles. Right now there's only 1 bubble, right? So if I go here, and so a good practice is to track it before I code it, because I don't want to be figuring out what's going on while my code is half working and I don't know. Does this track how many bubbles are on the screen? Yeah, it does well, right? And so later on I'll be able to say if bubbles.length is 0, then switch levels. Okay? So that's the first change you need to make. In your draw, around where you do your stuff, put how many bubbles are on the screen. This says bubbles. Actually, she might want to change this to cookies, right? And now it seems to work. Cookies too, right? So now what we want to do is say when you hit a bubble, if the bubble is too small, don't split it, right? Because I mean the game's impossible right now. It splits forever. So that says if we collide, add a score, move the laser off screen and split the bubble. But part of splitting the bubble is popping the bubble. So let's go to split the bubble. Okay? And this is the code you should have. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an if statement before it. If the bubble's width is greater than 50, now that number can change. You can change the number depending on how small you want them to get. If the bubble's width is greater than 50, then split it. So I'll put split here, right? And sometimes what I'll do to show that it's in the if statements, I'll tab it. So that says, if the bubble's width is big, split it. On the other hand, if it's not big, we pop it. Now this is another new command. We use an array. The array's name is bubble, and it says splice. Splice means remove. So remove it, destroy it from the list. What are we removing? B. And then 1 is how many items do you want me to remove? So we just want to pop the item that we hit. Remember, B is the one that we were cutting in half. B is also the one that we're popping. So if we hit that, awesome. Okay? And now notice that displaying cookies is still useful because now I know what I want want to switch levels, right? When cookies, or in this case is bubbles, dot length is equal to 0, what do I want to do? What does the game do when you pop all the bubbles? Switches to the next level, right? Awesome. So, we don't have any levels in this game, so let's make a level. What level do we start at? Levels equals 1. Okay? Now, before we start messing with level, we should put it on the screen, just like we did with the link. So let's go down to draw and say text, level. Let's see if we can display it. Level. Okay, so I got an error, 119. Oh, I don't have a plus there. And I need did I not call it level? Levels. Actually, let's change it to level. Okay, so we're on level 1, and we've displayed it. Awesome. So now what we need to do is when we have 0 bubbles, we want to go to the next level. So where would I put that? Could I put it in setup if level, or if there's no one in the, if there's no bubbles in the list, switch levels? Could I put it in setup? No, I couldn't put it in setup because how often does setup happen? Setup happens once at the beginning, but we need to ask the question, if there's no bubbles in the list, then we switch the thing. So what I need to do is in draw, right here, I can ask, before I do anything, I can say, are there no bubbles in the list? Okay. So if there's no bubbles in the list, add level. Add 1 to level, so now we'll be at level 2. And then we should probably make a new function called reset level. Okay? And then that way we can set a level 1, set a level 2, set a level 3. And so let's actually make a function called reset level. Reset. Did I do capital L? I should do capital L. If level equals 1. We actually don't need a level equals 1 because we do that in setup. And we'll do if level equals 2. Let's make level 2 have 2 bubbles. So we can take the setup code that we have from that right here. In setup, here she adds 1 bubble. Let's go to level 2, and let's add 2 bubbles. So if I paste this twice, it should work, except for the fact that I can't declare B twice. So I can go that. So I make 1 bubble, add it to the list, make a second bubble, add it to the list. Now they're going to be right on top of each other, so let's move them. And let's see. So now I actually have to get to level 2 to see level 2. Okay, and level 2 exists. So tomorrow, what I'll show you is how to make a health bar for your hero. And maybe we'll talk about adding like bonus items or other things to levels. Okay, any questions? Okay. I'll put this